It's the season opener, prep football on CCX Sports in a great District 279 matchup. We're here at John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field for Maple Grove and Osseo. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. Allie Mosley will join us as well. And Ryan, last year, didn't know if we were going to have a season for football. When we finally did, it started way late. It was a weird year. A lot more of a normal feel this year, and boy, these kids are excited for it.
To your point, you're coming in, no mask, concessions are open, kids are here watching, so it feels back to normal a little bit. And I love this time of year because it means back to school, but it means football. And all summer long, we wait for football. Well, we got the start of it. We got a great rivalry. I expect a fun game tonight.
Osseo won a couple of games last year. Maple Grove was 4-1, but they ended up getting shut down a little bit early because of COVID. And I think a lot of people are looking at this Maple Grove team. Unlike some of their past teams, they maybe don't have a couple of those like superstars that everybody in the state knows, but it's a good, deep team.
Well, you got Coach Lombardi, and anytime he's your head coach, you're going to be in every game because he's smart. He teaches fundamentals. He gets his kids ready to play, Jay. But the other thing is defensively, they are always going to be very good. He, of course, defensive coordinator on a lot of those good Wayzata teams in years past, but they got a lot of starters. I think it was 7 or 8 starters back on defense, and they always have good linebacker play, good secondary play. So his philosophy, if your defense shows up every night, you're going to give your offense a chance to win games, and I expect him to be really, really good, especially on defense this year.
Osseo will rely on a lot of juniors, but they feel pretty good about the talent level they have. Probably depth-wise, not quite as much as Maple Grove, but they do have a quality first 11 on offense and defense.
Well, and they do, and they had a great training camp too. They were in a couple of scrimmages, played really well, so their confidence level is high. And to your point, they have great athletes and great players. They just got to bring it together and perform on the field. And I think they feel confident this year that maybe, you want to get off to that great start. All that hard work, all the work, the weightlifting, the running throughout the summer, you want it to translate in that first game. So that's why this opening game, this opening rivalry is such a big part of the season.
Let's talk about key players to look at in tonight's game, and I picked out a couple of defensive guys who have had good careers already and obviously looking for big things in their senior season, starting with Aiden Mcmahon for Maple Grove.
Well, a great linebacker, and Maple Grove always has great linebacking play, and it's so important for them. And you'll see tonight, they move a lot of linebackers in and out. You don't know who's blitzing, where that pressure is coming from. So you have to be smart, but you have to be able to run to the football, and very athletic. He's going to make a lot of tackles. We'll be saying his name a lot tonight.
And a multi-sport guy, which you don't always see anymore. And for Osseo, a guy who is now going to be in his third year starting, and a leader for them, Owen Dukowitz.
Well, and I can think of the last 2 years we've done this opening game, and I feel like we're calling his name on almost every play for Osseo. He has a knack for the football. He makes plays. He's in the right position, and they're going to need him tonight to really step up and set the tone for the season. And being a 3-year player, you have that experience, that leadership, and now you just got to go out and show your team how to make plays on the field.
In many ways, this being the first game, a rivalry game like this is good, but I think there can be a danger of kids forgetting their assignments and things like that too, and I think which team sort of settles down right away is going to get the upper hand early.
Yeah, and we say that every opening game, right? Because a lot of these kids, it's their first varsity experience. You got a big fan, you're on TV, it's a big deal. And so whoever calms down and just plays football, do what you've been taught and what you've been coached all summer. And the other thing too is it's so exciting because you put so much work into being a football player with all the lifting and the running, all the time you put in, and now it's your time to shine. So whoever bottles that up in a positive way, penalties are always big to look at in this first game. So whoever can just make plays and get settled in always has that advantage.
All right, we'll get set for the kickoff in just a moment here. It is Maple Grove and Osseo, and it comes your way next here on CCX. welcome back here to Osseo, John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field. A little rain falling here as the teams get set for battle here tonight. And joining us on the sideline and braving the elements a little bit tonight, Allie Mosley.
Hey guys, football is back. There are fans in the stands, and this Osseo team is ready to flip the script. After a couple years of really struggling to get more than a couple wins on their record through a few seasons, Coach Stockhouse expects this team to be a top 10 team in the state. He said in his 6 years as head coach, this team is different. They are fully bought in, and though numbers are down, he said that these kids have an unbelievable quality to them that he hasn't seen in a while. While they do start 12 seniors tonight, only 5 of them are returning starters. But Coach says it's really been the sophomore and junior classes that have this intensity and competitive drive that is really propelling this team into a ferocity that we haven't seen out of Osseo football in years. As for expectations tonight, he said it's all about discipline. When it comes to that first game of the season, it's the team who makes the least amount of mistakes who will come out the winner, guys.
Thanks, Allie, and I should mention tonight, too, Ryan Stockhouse celebrating a birthday today. So what better of a birthday present would there be for him if they were able to get a win over their rival?
That's one of those, do you tell the team that beforehand so they go out and play maybe a little extra harder for you? So happy birthday to Coach. And here's what's interesting, too. I was watching the coin toss, Jay. Osseo won the toss. They elected to get the ball. And so I like that aggressiveness by Coach saying, hey, let's get our offense out there. Got a new quarterback from Champlain Park. Let's see what we can do offensively. I like that attitude.
And being able to control the football and control the clock a little bit, I think, was one of the definite goals for the Orioles here this evening. They're going to switch things up a little bit from what we've seen in past years. They're running more of a wing T look and some misdirection, and they feel like their O-line's pretty good, so they're hoping to obviously want to score some points, but they also want to control the clock a little bit, keep the ball away from Maple Grove's potent offense.
Well, and that's the thing. When you play Maple Grove, they're so good defensively. You don't need to get a big play. Just keep the chains moving, win first down, get positive yards. In the past couple of years, we've done this game, Jay. Osseo's, they start off, 2nd and 15. They get a penalty. They get a negative play. They just got to have positive plays, string them together, and you don't necessarily have to score, but you got to keep the ball for a little bit, try to wear down that Crimson defense.
Ben Jameson will kick off for Maple Grove. Middle deep is Malcolm Randolph for Osseo, and also back there with him, Devin Williams, number 4, and number 18, Devin Green. Is a bit of a breeze, too. I mean, obviously the rain is the first thing we're noticing, but there's definitely enough wind that it might be a little bit of a factor in the passing game or kicking game. And this kick will be fielded right side. Little handoff look and trying to get around the edge and out over the 20, close to the 25 with it. Goes Green for the Orioles, and they will get the football for the first time. As Ryan said, they've got Champlain Park transfer Cade Fitzgerald winning the starting quarterback job for the Orioles.
Well, I think that's huge. He's coming over from a winning program. He's played winning football. He's played in some big games. Didn't throw a lot. You can see 42 out of 106. Not the most accurate, but I love that 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he takes care of the football.
First down handoff will gain them not a whole lot, a couple yards. As taking the handoff that time was Randolph. And the 2nd and long coming up here for the Orioles.
Well, that's what I like out of the wing T offense is you always have that quick trap available. And you're not going to necessarily hit home runs in it, but you want positive yards, and getting 3 yards on first down. It's okay.
And off to Devin Williams, and he is brought down. Nice defensive play there for the Crimson by Bryce Tiber. Tiber getting lots of pats on the backs after that one, and it'll be a short loss, it looks like, for Williams.
You can see he just beat the guard on that play, and you got to just hold your block for just a second, especially when the run's going opposite direction. But Tiber, not a big guy, 220 pounds, but quick. You saw how quick his hands, his feet were, great pursuit. And that's the thing about this Crimson defense, Jay, is they have quickness all over the field. They're not a big team this year, but they got speed and they all pursue. I know that's one of the things that Coach talks about all the time is pursuit.
Go with the handoff on 3rd down, and that one obviously going to be stopped well short of the 1st down, so a good defensive stand early for the Crimson as handoff was Adrian Burton taking that one and got a couple yards back there, but it'll be a punting situation coming up here for the Orioles.
Well, 3rd and long, I think most people are expecting a pass, a reverse, some type of sweep. Tried to get them caught off guard there with that trap up the middle, and nice job by Maple Grove staying home, playing great gap defense.
TJ Clay on to punt for Osseo. It's a short kick, and coming up to field it was Jamison in the middle of traffic, and he gets it inside the 40. So they don't hold back. Their best running back, Derek Jamison, out there as the punt returner as well, and made what I felt was a bit of a gamble there, but it pays off as they'll start on the Osseo 39. Other than getting a turnover, you couldn't ask for a better start for the defense for Maple Grove right there.
Great field position, and to your point, I think Osseo special teams thought Jamison maybe was going to fair catch that. Caught him off guard a little bit, got some positive yards, but great field position, short field for your offense.
Jacob Kilzer, a junior who started the latter portion of last year, so even though he's an 11th grader, he did get some valuable experience a year ago. Kilzer looking to throw and sailed it over Jamison's head.
Fortunately for Osseo, that pass was overthrown because they had blockers and a lot of turf in front of them. If that ball's complete, that was a nice play call. They had it set up really, really nicely.
And those are the kinds of, as a coach, you're going, oh, we had it.
We had it. We saw the defense we liked. And that's also what you see a lot in the, first action, your first varsity game of the year. You got, especially as a quarterback, not a ton of experience. You're excited. You got to harness that and be accurate.
We go with the toss to Jamison. Jamison into the secondary, brought down from behind there for Osseo by Shandon Anderson. But a nice pickup there for the Crimson after misfiring on the pass on 1st down. They'll pick up about 7 on that toss sweep to Jamison, who's got some good experience last year and comes in as definitely a guy they're going to count on a lot this year at 6'1", 190-pound senior.
Yeah, he's a big running back, explosive, fast, strong. He's the complete package.
Kilzer handing it off to Jamison with a gap to run through. A nice cut, and he's gone. Touchdown, Crimson. They get a 3 and out, get great field position, and now they score immediately as Jamison runs it in from 32 yards out.
Well, great play design, a little fake pitch to the right, coming back to Jamison, and you nailed it on the call there, Jay. Great cut. Safety had a good look at him, but that was just a big-time cut. And it's hard when you got a guy that big and fast coming at you. You got to stay low, have a good center of gravity, and he makes that cut, and he is gone. 3 plays, 39 yards, touchdown. Couldn't script a better start for the Crimson.
Connor Fournier coming on to attempt the extra point here for Maple Grove. They appear to have been 1 man short, and they're either going to run out of time or have to use the timeout here. It is a delay of game call against Maple Grove. But instead of trying to rush that play, they were like, yeah, our kicker can still make it from 5 yards back. It's really not going to bother us too much. So.
And those are the kind of things, too, of these first games, right? Getting all your different depth charts, your special teams. And it's one of those things that can drive coaches crazy because you practice it every day. But there's just something a little different when you're actually out on the big field.
Caden Vocal, the holder, as Fournier comes on to attempt the extra point. A little bit of a high snap, but he gets it down nicely. And the kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:04 to go here in the first quarter, visiting Maple Grove strikes early. Jamison the touchdown. There's that beautiful cut.
Yeah, great cut. You saw that misdirection to the right side. And Devin Williams, number 4, he's a safety for Osseo. And normally a very good tackler. You can see he just overran that play a little bit. And that's just a big-time cut by Jamison. I'll tell you, too, we talk about it every year, but nothing can help a quarterback better than having that good running game, too, having that balance. So you're keeping that defense guessing. Is it going to be a run? Is it going to be a pass? And if you can run the football, you know, that's only going to open up more of the passing game too.
Ben Jamison on to kickoff. That's always one of the things that I kind of enjoy about high school football too, is it's not unheard of to see a lineman kicking off. I mean, Ben Jamison is a 6'3", 220, which isn't enormous, but it's pretty good size for a high school guy to be kicking, whereas normally, obviously, when you get to college and professional level, generally the kicker is much smaller than everybody else on the field. And trying to angle this one to the right sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds. So maybe hit that one a little bit more than he wanted to there. You can see the idea behind it. Let's pin him to a sideline if we can, but smart play there too by Devin Green to just watch that one go out of bounds.
Well, and it's tempting too. You want to receive that, but very, very good discipline, knowing that let that ball out of bounds, you're going to get great field position. Well, in a game like this too, you had 3 and out, quick score by Maple Grove. This is where Osseo, you want to maybe expand that playbook a little bit. You want to try to get something positive. You want to at least change field position here. If you can't sustain a drive, try to get a chunk play here so you can move the ball, move the field position a little bit.
Fitzgerald will hand it off up the middle, and not much happening on that one as Adrian Burton wrapped up instantly.
And again, just that quickness up front by this Crimson D-line. Not overly big, but they got great speed, and they're doing a nice job of plugging the interior of that line. That was a great fake, too. I thought Fitzgerald might have still had the ball. And remember, he's a pretty explosive runner, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep a couple of those and try to get to the outside.
2nd down and 9 here for the Orioles. Maple Grove showing blitz. Fitzgerald rolling to the right. Fakes and now gets rid of it late, and it'll be incomplete as they just kind of ran out of real estate over there. Green, the intended target.
Well, and you're seeing, too, a lot of pre-snap movement by the Crimson defense, and that's always tough to prepare for because they change it up, you know, week to week, year to year, possession to possession. So as a line, especially a young line, trying to figure out who your responsibility is, who's got the blitz if it comes, and then all of a sudden when you think it's coming, they back it out. So it's a tricky defense, especially if you're inexperienced up front to go against.
So Osseo throwing on 2nd and long, but unable to complete. So now they look at a 3rd and long, and that's going to be a false start there. As you kind of wonder if that one might have been on the center, because an awful lot of people left at the same time there before the snap.
And again, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. Now you're back to 3rd and 13, and what it does is it allows your defense. You assume a pass is coming, and it allows those D ends and D tackles to just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. So that's what you want to. You really, against this defense, got to get into that 3rd and short so you have every option available.
And particularly with the offense that Osseo is now running too, that's always been a little bit of the knock on the wing tee is, you know, can you throw effectively enough out of it? Fitzgerald throwing down the right side, and that one up and over everyone there looking for Green. But incomplete, and it will bring up a punting situation again here for the Orioles as Clay will come on. Jamison drifting back deep again from Maple Grove, and obviously they got great field position on the first one. They'll try and do the same as this punt coming only from a couple yards out farther than they were the first time.
Well, and the thing you worry about too is, you know, especially when you've lost a couple years in a row to Maple Grove, you don't want to get off to a bad start where you have a bunch of negative plays. You need something positive to build on.
Flag down on the play. Jamison fields it after a couple of hops and just gets a yard or two. Interesting to see. Boy, they came close to blocking this one, but that's not where the flag was. It had already come out along the Osseo sideline. So we'll see what we've got for a penalty call here. Illegal formation. Maple Grove is going to decline it, so they're satisfied with getting the football at their 42.
Yeah, you wondered if they'd maybe try to make Osseo re-kick that, especially when they were close to getting home at blocking it, but like you said, still pretty good field position here. And this is where that Osseo defense, you really got to come up big here. You got to try to change the tide, change the momentum. See if you can come up with a big play, get a stop here, get the ball back in the hands of your offense.
Allbeck, the fullback, in front of Jamison here as Kilzer comes out. He'll hand it to Allbeck, and he dropped it. Ball on the turf. And a scramble. It's going to be Osseo coming up with the football, recovered by Anderson. And so a quick turnover there by the Crimson will give Osseo the football back in good field position.
Well, exactly what they needed to have happen. You talk about the rain out there. It's a wet ball. You can see that handoff was really never secure, never had it in his breadbasket. Let's see if, just never had a clean look at it, but great job by Anderson. And that's something that's good coaching right there. When that ball's on the ground, you're taught to get on it. Nice job by Anderson. Big play for the Orioles.
So they'll have it at the 45 of the Crimson. Fitzgerald faking and now rolling right. A flag is down, and he is wrapped up and thrown down, McMahon. And I think we're going to have a hold perhaps here against the Orioles.
Oftentimes when it's in that backfield, that's what you're going to get. I like the play call there. Design pass. Yep. Design pass, but again, Cade Fitzgerald's got such good athletic ability, good runner, just tucked it and ran. Again, those negative plays, especially early in the downs against this defense, just got to try to avoid those at all costs.
And there is where you get into the misdirection part of it, which is good to keep the defense guessing, but I think you occasionally see more holds on that kind of a play.
Yeah, plays that take a little bit longer to develop where you have to hold blocks a little bit too.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Physical stop up front there by Josiah Atkinson, lowering the boom. He just swallowed him up right there.
I'll tell you what, you see their uniforms, it says Crimson. Atkinson looks like he could be playing at Alabama right now. He's had an impact already. He's been in that backfield, but look at the physicality and just nowhere to run. There has not been an opening in that interior defense.
It's one of the plays where you might want to hand the ball back to the quarterback. I don't want that at that point.
Did someone block Atkinson?
Out of the shotgun, Fitzgerald's going to hand it off, and they'll get a little bit, but not a whole lot on running once again with Burton.
Well, and this is kind of too, Jay, where I always like, as a player, as a coach, take a shot, take a trick play, something to get that spark going. Sometimes that's all it takes is one big play or one positive play to get your confidence, your timing. Now you're backed up again, 3rd and 17.
Fitzgerald rolling to his left, now throwing as he backpedals. Ooh, and it's knocked away. Looking for Williams. And Jacob Anderson arrived just in time to bat that one down. A kind of a dangerous throw back over the middle there, although it looked like it might be on the way to being completed, but Anderson got a piece. We got another flag, though, so this one would not have counted anyway.
Well, it's always kind of dangerous. You're rolling left, you're coming back, throwing against your body like that. And got a good throw out of it. Guy was able to get enough power on it. That's not easy either. Avoiding the rush, put it on the money, but a nice job by Anderson getting there and batting it down.
And maybe somewhat surprising, Maple Grove is going to accept this penalty. It would have been 4th down, but they're saying, no, we're going to push them back.
Well, that's confidence in your defense, right? Knowing that you're 3rd and 27 now, and hey, maybe we can add to our already good field position.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of plays in your playbook, even if you're, an NFL team that are expected to gain 27. So,
no, this is where you just want to get a positive play here. You're not going to get it all back, but positive play.
Fitzgerald now facing pressure, scrambles out, throws, and incomplete. Obviously would have been way short of the 1st down anyways. In and out of the hands there, trying to connect with Bryce Hawthorne.
Oh, good coverage. Cade Cook delivered the hit right as that ball got there. Again, nice throw on the run, too, out of the pocket. You can see he's very athletic, very capable of throwing when he gets to the outside.
Play on the punt, and again they get a pretty good rush. Short kick, Jamison up and fields it at full speed. And he'll be knocked down after about 3 yards, but boy, he's fearless out there returning punts.
Well, it's always dangerous too when you get a return guy that gets ahead of steam going into the punt, because he's already at full speed. But nice coverage that time by the Orioles. But again, really good field position. So the Crimson bailed out on that last turnover, really didn't lose a whole lot. It's a point of emphasis. Anytime it's wet out like that, you gotta handle the football. We can't turn the ball over.
So Maple Grove starts on their 47, their third possession. They had a touchdown followed by a turnover. And they're going to give it right back to Albeck and say, you know what, we're going to not hold that against you that you had a fumble last time around. And we know you're one of our guys, so go ahead and take the handoff and see what you can get.
Well, I love that. You give a kid another try, right? So many coaches punish the kid if they have a turnover of, hey, we're not trusting you with the ball again. I love that. Give it right back to him. Let him build his confidence, especially the first game of the year. But nice job up front by the Oriole defense. They got some size up front. They did a nice job of plugging that gap.
Got about 2 on that play, so 2nd and 8 coming up for Kilzer and the Crimson, just short of midfield. Fakes a handoff. Kilzer rolling right, throws on the run and has the completion. And that'll be enough for a first down. He paid the price at the end, but nice reception there for Grove by Albeck.
Great play design, great job getting your quarterback an easy throw. Little play action, he gets the roll out to the right. You can see fullback coming right out of the backfield. Easy throw, nice catch, turn it upfield, end up getting really good yards out of it. You get your quarterback a little bit of a rhythm.
Pickup of about 15 there, so to the 36 of Osseo, first down and 10 for Maple Grove. Already leading at 7-0. Toss to Jamison. He has a big gap to run through, and look out, he's gone again. Touchdown Crimson, both by Derek Jamison, and they made that one look easy. I don't know if Osseo was fooled by the direction that one went or whatever, but he had a lot of room to run pretty much right off the get-go.
Well, again, going to that left, really well blocked up front. It looked like Osseo might have had 7 or 8 guys up front and just no one in the secondary. So once he was able to break through that line of scrimmage, he was gone.
He's got good size and speed, and the extra point kick is up and good. So Fournier delivers again, and with 4:24 to play here in this opening quarter, our score becomes 14-0 in favor of Maple Grove as you get another look at Jamison.
Well, you can see a couple guys had hands on him, but he's so big and strong, Jay, you got to wrap him up. And again, great job pulling, nice job of that off. Look at that hole, really well blocked, but no one in the secondary there. You need a safety or an outside back or someone coming up to support that line.
So not the start that Osseo wanted. It is the start that Matt Lombardi wanted. And we should point out, too, Coach wearing that hat in honor of his father who passed away in the spring and was a football coach for 53 years. Wow. And that's the type of hat that he wore. And Matt this year wearing it in honor of his dad, Bob. So sorry for the loss for the Lombardi family, but a nice tribute to his dad this year.
Well, I saw him in the pregame. I said, hey, Coach Saban. You know, he looked like Coach Nick Saban down at Alabama. But, yeah, obviously his dad would be very proud of his son. He's turned into one of the best football coaches in the state of Minnesota, and be very proud of, especially of how his team has come out and started the year here tonight.
Well, we said fans are back, and they definitely – it's not a hard sell to get fans to come from Maple Grove to Osseo. You don't have to go very far, and it's a rivalry game and everything. And it's not. There's probably been years where it was more jam-packed than this, but still, it's nice to see the good crowd on both sides.
Well, it was so eerie last year without crowds at basketball games, at football games. So just fun for this group of players, and especially the seniors, to be able to have their friends and classmates be able to come and support them.
Looking to go sweep left, but that one didn't go far as Dukowitz took the handoff. And Cook comes up to meet him there, a little form tackle.
Well, and it looked like Dukowitz might have had some gap there to the outside, but Jace Uzel, number 21, did a great job of just pursuing down the line. You know, that's one of the biggest things, you know, high school, even, in the NFL, all the way down is you set that edge. You don't let teams get to the outside. You funnel everything back to where your helpers are. And Maple Grove really on that play did a super job.
So 2nd and 9 now for Fitzgerald and crew. Goes to Devin Williams looking to sweep right. Nice. This time a little room to run, and Williams has got some wheels. Devin Williams breaking it into the secondary. A couple guys have an angle on him, and they are going to be able to force him out, but not until he's inside the 25-yard line.
Huge play, exactly what Osseo needed. I'll tell you, I thought what made that play was the little jet motion, the motion pre-snap. It allowed him to get a little bit of his speed, Williams, and going. His offensive line didn't have to hold the blocks long, and he did a great job of cutting back once he got to the outside, showing off some great speed. Big play for Osseo.
Well, he had a flag come way after the end of the play. It's got to be an unsportsmanlike, I would think. Actually not. Illegal block in the back.
Well, the good news is it's not going to bring it all the way back, just back from where the spot of the foul was. So it's still a big gain.
But a 57-yard run there. The penalty is going to bring it back, but as Ryan said, it's still going to be a huge play because it occurred right at the very end. That flag came out so late, I was sure it was an after the whistle kind of thing, but apparently not quite.
Well, to your point, a lot of times on cutbacks and things like that, you find yourself not expecting to block, but all of a sudden you do, and that's when you get sometimes a hold or a block in the back. Oh, you can see it right there at the 32-yard line. I think that was a quarterback down the field too.
And McMahon turned around and said, "Hey, what was that?" And not a smart play there. I mean, obviously it's still, you get a great gain, but that was pretty obvious that it was a block in the back, and it was really unnecessary too. It wasn't going to help him any by that point.
But a great response by the Oriole offense there, and exactly what they needed, a big chunk play. It's not, like we said, sometimes that one play gets everyone a little confidence, and all of a sudden some of those play calls earlier that weren't doing much, now you got a little bit of extra muster in your step, a little extra juice, and now they got to capitalize on this. You got a big play. Now you got to punch it in the end zone.
And you sometimes find that with the wing T too, where you need to be able to set things up, where you might have a few plays that don't look like they do much, but they're kind of setting other things up a little bit.
Well, and I thought too that play did not take a long time to develop. It was just quick, and with the speed of the Maple Grove defense, sometimes just quick hitters are big. And there's another one.
Going to go sweep again. This time Randolph taking the handoff. He's bounced around after about a 3-yard pickup.
Randolph's got some great speed. Nice job by McMahon there, chasing him down, not letting him turn the corner.
And we've got an injury stoppage here as an Oriole down on the ground, holding his knee, it looks like. Oh, he might have been run up on. Planted as McMahon was bringing him down there.
I like the little wrinkle that Osseo has put in here, just some quick hit, trying to get to that outside. And a lot of times, to your point, sometimes you do that and you're setting up a reverse, or a fake and a keep. And let's see if we get one of those counters off of this play. Yeah, that did not look fun. Hopefully Randolph is okay. He's putting a little bit of weight. Sometimes those injuries, they hurt like heck for a few minutes and they're not serious. You end up coming back. You certainly hope for that young man.
Yeah, he planted to make the cut just as McMahon was kind of dragging him down, and it looked like his foot kind of stuck in the turf more. You'd almost wish it would slide out from under you at that point because he was going to be tackled anyway. So 2nd and 7 at the Maple Grove 30. Osseo trying to answer the 2 early touchdowns for the Crimson. Handoff up the middle, and there's a good see that's set up by the other working the edges. Adrian Burton this time will pop it free for about 11 and a first down.
Well, Burton's got good size and speed too, 205 pounds. But we've seen that play, a couple times earlier get stuffed. That time, great job blocking up front. Did a nice job, Burton did, to hit that hole hard.
Yeah, and he was brought down, but he kind of won that collision a little bit too. He finished it strong. And not a whole lot doing as Burton will slide forward for maybe 2 to 3 yards on the play.
Just a much better rhythm on this offensive possession for Osseo. You're running outside, now you pound on the inside. So a little, obviously not throwing the football, but getting that balance of at least how you're attacking in the run game.
Under 2 minutes to play first quarter, 14-0 Maple Grove, but Osseo has a nice drive going. Fitzgerald will hand it off again. As Burton taking it, stood up there by Sawyer Skansen, and then they were just in a battle and some Maple Grove help arrived.
Well, and I'll tell you too, with a guy like Burton, you remember when you tackle him. As that game goes on, it has a psychological effect. You don't want to hit him sometimes, later in the game because you're like, I'm already battered from doing that. So you got to keep giving him the rock, let his physicality wear on you.
3rd and 4 here. Gonna hand it off to Dukowitz, sweeping to the left side, and he will look like he'll be close to the first down, and they might mark him short. He's at about the 9. No, maybe he's got it.
Nice job on the left side of the line of scrimmage, well blocked.
And it will, in fact, be enough for the first down by about a half yard there.
And I tell you, Jay, I've said it, but I think that pre-snap motion, getting that running back moving a little bit before, gives him the speed and allows him to get to the outside. Maple Grove's so fast that, if you have a longer developing play, you just aren't going to beat them to the outside, but they're doing a nice job so far.
1st and goal here for the Orioles from the 9. Not much of a gain, if anything, there for Williams.
I tell you, if I'm Osseo, I'm looking at running one of those plays, but having Fitzgerald keep it. You can see Maple Grove very good at pursuing the football. Let's see if they have that in the playbook. A good ball fake one direction, and see if you can get your new quarterback with his athleticism to keep it and see if he can't get to the outside.
Be a loss of a yard there, so back to about the 10. 2nd and goal here for the Orioles. And there's Dukowitz wrapped up and dropped. Another good defensive play by Jace Uzel for Maple Grove as he shoots through and gets the tackle for loss. It'd be about a 4-yard loss.
Well, again, not a big linebacker. 5'8", 160 pounds, but great speed, elusive, hard to block. And high football IQ, able to just get in that backfield, and they always are sure tacklers.
So we've reached the end of one quarter here tonight at John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field. Maple Grove a strong start, but Osseo driving. It's 14-0 Crimson after 1.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back. Maple Grove scoring a pair of touchdowns in that first quarter, both by Derek Jamison. Osseo a good drive, but they were 1st and goal at the 9 to start. They've gone backward a bit now, so it'll be 3rd and goal from about the 14 against Coach Matt Lombardi and the Crimson defense.
Well, what's interesting here is this 4-down territory. If it is, it doesn't mean you got to get it all back. Try to get that 7-8 yards so you got a 4th and manageable. Otherwise, are you comfortable kicking a field goal? Then you take a shot here.
Fitzgerald looking to throw, and that one out of bounds and incomplete. Devin Green asking for a flag, but the ball had already sailed by and was nowhere near him anyway, so pretty well covered. Now we'll get an opportunity. It kind of looks like field goal is the thought here.
Yeah, and I like that idea, going to Devin Green. He's 6'3", very good athlete, and that's where as a quarterback you got to give your guy a chance to make a play on that.
Devin Williams will be the kicker in this scenario. Hayden Potratz, the backup quarterback, is the holder for the Orioles. Will be about a 30-yard try. Williams steps into it, and his kick is wide to the right, so no good. Osseo ends up not getting points out of what had been a very good drive. Williams getting the big play on the drive, obviously on that 57-yard run, but unable to punch a field goal through. And so Maple Grove defense bends but doesn't break there, and they keep Osseo at 0 on the board.
So, Jay, 3rd and goal from about the 13. Do you think that's 4-down territory? Would you try to punch that in, or would you play for a field goal?
No, I think in high school football especially, I'm going for 4 down there.
You know, and that's what I probably try to do something, you know, where you can 2-down territory, give yourself a shot at getting into the end zone. But either way, they flip field position, which is big.
Kilzer play action here, throwing, and it's complete, but he's down on a knee there with the catch is Nick Barber.
Kilzer's got a nice arm to him. He's got some velocity. You know, nice play action. Has the time, sets his foot. And, you know, if you're going to miss a throw a little bit, you want to miss it low. You don't want the ball wobbling up in the air. So good throw, nice. You know, he's got 2 in a row here. Getting a little confidence, getting a little rhythm as well.
So football on the 31 after a 16-yard pickup on that completion. Kilzer running a little option, pitching back. Jamison again into the secondary and driven out of bounds right near midfield. And Jamison's a little slow to get up here. But another nice pickup for Maple Grove. A look we hadn't seen from them yet, going option to the left.
Great fake up the middle. You can see the defense collapses a little bit. And a nice job. Not an easy thing as a right-handed quarterback, too. Running to your left, pitching with the left hand. But that's when it's all about timing and knowing where your running back's going to be. And you can tell they had that timing down perfectly. And 2 big plays here on this drive.
So at midfield, another 1st down. This time the pitch goes to Mika Vey, and he is into the secondary, and he might go. Vey's first carry, he'll cut it back, and he's into the end zone. 50-yard touchdown for Vey, who's primarily a defensive back, but they like him as a good weapon as a backup at that tailback slot after Jamison went down hard. And how's that for a first carry of the year?
They like him, huh, as a backup. He'd probably be a starter as a running back on most teams. But again, a different look by the Crimson. That time just a I formation, power toss to the right, well blocked. You can see great speed for Mika as he was able to get to the outside, and then had a nice little cutback at about the 7-yard line, able to get into the end zone. But not a bad average yards per carry on the season. You can see you get that fullback out in front. Look at that block. Great job too by Albuck too, holding the block, number 35. Great kick out block. See some of the big guys 10, 15 yards down the field holding their blocks, and right there just a nice little cutback.
I was wondering at the time if he was making a mistake by cutting back. If he wasn't, you know, maybe would have been able to beat him to the pylon there, but obviously he knew best and got it done.
Well, sometimes when you make that cutback, you get caught from behind because you slow down a little bit. And you saw he did get caught, but it was after he was already in the end zone. So, yeah, not a bad 1-2 punch at running back.
So a 21-0 lead for the Crimson here early in quarter number 2.
When you can see on all 3 of their touchdown runs too, to the outside. Again, not a huge offensive line, but great speed. And you see guys out pulling and kicking out blocks and blocking downfield. When you're quick and agile like that, you can do that.
Little pop-up kick here.
Oh.
And Maple Grove saying they've got it. So they go to the little special teams look. I'm guessing that they saw something from Osseo. Their guys peeling back too early.
Do you think that's what they were trying on the last kickoff and it went too far and too wide?
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
So well executed special teams here as tough ball to catch over the shoulder there for the Oriole returner.
You know, on a situation like that, Jay, you don't wonder if the best thing is to just fair catch that. And you don't have to worry about getting contact. You can just concentrate on making the catch.
Jamison back in there, takes the ball inside the 25, so a pickup of about 7 or 8 on that one as they continue to get things done offensively here. Recovery on that was, I believe, by Anderson too. Jacob Anderson got on that ball from Maple Grove. Give him some credit after the pooch kick was dropped. Boy, Jamison well on his way to a 100-yard night here, and then Veilley got half that on one carry.
Well, Veilley's back in at running back. See if he can keep that.
He'll take the handoff here, but nothing doing this time. He had to come to a stop there, and he was unable to escape the grasp of the Oriole tackler there. Old mystery number 33 there.
Well, that time Veilley, I thought, was a little slow attacking the hole, and when you kind of hesitate like that, nice job by Osseo collapsing on the interior. 3rd and 5 here. You kind of got the whole playbook. I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of trickery here, maybe a shot, screen. Kilzer's shown a really nice job of being able to throw from outside of the pocket too.
Gonna go to Jamison coming in motion on the sweep. Makes a nice cut, and he'll be shoved out of bounds around the 15, so they'll get the first down. Obviously looking like they're going to come out in the throwing formation. Yep. Instead, they had Jamison out in the slot, bring him in and take that one on a sweep.
Well, it looked like Dukowitz had a shot at him. Not a great shot, but he did get his hands on him in the backfield, and that's where that power, Jamison's obviously showing he's got speed, but he's got that power to run through hand tackles.
So a new set of downs at about the 15 here for Maple Grove. Kilzer throwing it up, and it is incomplete, knocked away. Looked like it was going to be caught for a moment and then just knocked free. It's a good job of playing through the ball there by the DB.
Well, that's a throw I think Kilzer's going to want back. Osseo came with some pressure, and wide open was Peters, but that ball hung in the air just a little bit too long.
And to be honest, the snap hung in the air too long too. I think that might have disrupted the timing a little bit.
I think if he gets that a little flatter, a little bit more velocity where Peters got time to really watch that and hold on to it, I think that's a touchdown.
So 2nd down, and again they're looking to throw, and pass complete, and guess who? Jamison battles his way down near the 5-yard line, and they may have this first down.
And again, you see him running through arm tackles. Contact happened. I like the formation, 3 wide receivers to the left, you come back to the right. And right there, and that's an extra six yards after contact. He does a great job at keeping those legs moving. And they're going to give him 1st and goal here at about the 5-yard line.
Maple Grove trying to put up a 4th touchdown already in this game, and we're not to the halfway point of the 2nd quarter. They have looked good here on the opening night. Kilzer going to keep it to the left, and Kilzer will walk on in for the touchdown. Maple Grove, I think, kind of an offensive coach's dream too, just the variety they've been able to show here tonight.
Well, and I love the decision making by Kilzer that time. That's an option to the left, and you could see it. He didn't wait and drag it on. As soon as he realized he had the edge and a lane that seemed to the end zone, watch him right here, he was gone. He had no intention of pitching that. Great block, too, down the field by Michael Ross, number 28. Did a nice job of sealing that edge. Great decision, too, by the quarterback.
And Fournier's kick is up and through, so 7:59 to go here in this second quarter, and now 28-0 Maple Grove. And, you know, you're coming in, obviously we know Maple Grove's been getting the better of this rivalry in recent years, and both teams, you know, relatively optimistic coming into tonight, but wow, they have really put one on Osseo here so far.
Yeah, and it's tough if you're Osseo because you're so excited, the anticipation of the season, you know, different attitude, different vibe. You had some great scrimmages, and then you come out and nothing's really gone their way, 28-0. But, you know, this is where you build character, and maybe you don't win this game, but you can at least build for the rest of the season. So, you know, 8 minutes left in this first half. Can we get a drive? Can we punch one in? Can we just build on some stuff, work on the stuff that we've done well all camp? You know, and if you're Maple Grove too, it's a great lesson. You don't want to get complacent. You don't want to start getting lazy and get some bad habits. You want to stay sharp.
Yeah, it really felt like that last drive Osseo had, not being able to put that one in the end zone. Really, not to say that would have put them right back in the game or anything, but it certainly would have
and it started,
made a difference.
Jay, on that big run, having that penalty, that push in the back, because, yeah, you still got yards, but it kind of dampened that big play as well.
Jameson's boot will be taken on about the 8. Little double handoff. There's a flag down on the play. And you have to believe this is probably against the return team, I would guess. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be. A little trying to confuse the Crimson coverage team there as Devin Green got that last handoff. And it almost looks like they're saying a forward handoff, like an illegal forward pass here. I'm speculating, but just by the motion that he was making.
Or he's working on abs, one of the two.
Oh, they're going to pick the flag up, and you know, if it's a direct handoff, then there's no problem. But if it's pitched forward, definitely.
And he was back. It was backwards.
Yeah,
still.
I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
That seemed a little.
I like the idea.
Iffy.
You know, you're taking a shot. You're trying some trickery there. It's kind of a slower developing fake out of it, and what that happens, you end up allowing the kickoff team to really get down the field, so just nowhere to go.
So Osseo will get it at the 26-yard line here, down by 4 touchdowns, but showing a little bit of signs of life offensively the last couple drives. You go up the middle with it here, and Burton continuing to run hard there as he was wrapped up before the Crimson by Uzel.
Yeah, he's given them some positive, tough yards here the last 2 possessions up the middle. First couple possessions, nowhere to go, but he's starting to really pound the rock up the middle. Nice big gain on first down.
Call it a 6-yard pickup there. And Maple Grove jumping into the neutral zone there, looked like, as Scanson got a little overeager. Always kind of surprised with them that doesn't happen a little bit more even, but.
Well, they practice it, so they're pretty disciplined. But, yeah, if I was an offensive coordinator going against Maple Grove, I think having a good non-predictive snap count can set their timing off slightly. And you certainly think a hard count every once in a while just to try to get those free 5 yards would definitely be worth it.
From the 37, a flag is down as Devin Williams had about a 3-yard pickup, but this flag flew immediately. I think it's an offensive penalty. Lots of flags here tonight in the first quarter and a half, as you sometimes will see on opening nights. Good legal procedure call there against the Orioles, so moving back 5. I don't know if you can describe it as a must-score drive, but if they're going to really have give themselves a legitimate shot, I think they certainly need one here before halftime.
And remember, too, Maple Grove gets the ball to start the second half.
And off, Burton. Met there for the Crimson by Mason South.
I don't wonder if that penalty, and even on that play, there's movement on Osseo as far as, some type of motion, but they're not getting set, or they're getting set right as the snap is occurring. So I'm wondering if that's not what that first penalty was for.
Be second and about 14 now for the Orioles here. Fitzgerald handing it off to Burton again. Met there by Scanson and crew. Driven back after a very minimal gain, if anything.
Well, you can see the linebackers are really starting to crash that middle. And that's where I think, again, too, if you can get Cade Fitzgerald maybe on a quarterback keeper, fake that up the middle to Burton's. He's drawing enough attention there. Maybe you could get Fitzgerald to the outside and get some positive yards.
5.5 to go, second quarter. Maple Grove, a couple of touchdowns in the first, a couple more in the second, leading at 28-0 here at Osseo. Fitzgerald rolling, Scanson is coming, and Scanson will get there for the sack. You wondered if he was going to be able to see him out of the corner of his eye or not, and the answer was apparently not. Good job by Fitzgerald not to cough the ball up, but at that point he just had to accept the sack.
Well, I don't think he saw it. He was sprinting out to his left, and nice job, too, timing that by Scanson. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. Timed it perfectly, unblocked, just had a free sprint to the quarterback, and big-time play.
Scanson can run a little bit, and good-sized linebacker at 6'2", 205, and just close quick. Got him.
Oh.
Here's Clay getting it away. There's Jamison.
You can see his cuts.
And Jamison, one guy to beat down the sideline, and he is going to go.
What a great couple of cuts. And to your point a while back, wondering if he's going to cut back there. That time just said, I'm going to beat you to the outside, took it to the house. He's got some great footwork.
Jamison, third touchdown of the night, first couple from scrimmage, and this one via the punt return. So he had some adventure, some punt returns early, and this time takes it the distance. It'll be about a 65-yarder.
I mean, look at the change of direction. He is slippery. I'll tell you the other thing, when you change directions like that, you cut, you lose some of your speed. He's got a great ability to go from 0 to full speed in about 2 strides, so it doesn't lose a lot of that speed. And he's fast, great vision too. And you give everyone else great job blocking it too. That's it. Whenever you get a punt return, a special teams touchdown, it's a whole team affair.
And the coaches who work with special teams love that part. Sure, it was an impressive return by Jamison, but the part about getting your lanes, sealing your guy, it's just a perfect example to be able to show them on film of what happens when you do it. And you do pay attention in special teams part of the practice. That isn't screw around time. That's time to, because those plays matter just as much as any.
And I guarantee, not in this game, but there will be a game this year where a punt return like that could be the difference in winning and losing. They're in a tight game. If you can dominate special teams, and even if you don't score a touchdown like that, but you change field position on a few of those, that's huge. And that young man right there has shown the ability, anytime he touches the rock, he has the ability to take it to the house.
Well, it was one of the things Coach Stockhouse talked about too, is they being this close together, they know each other's personnel, and he said they got a couple of explosive guys on offense, particularly number 3, that we don't really, we want to keep the ball away from them by controlling it with our offense. But so far, obviously, not all of the plans, or not many of the plans, have worked out for the Orioles to this point. The other Jamison kicking it off here. High kick taken on about the 12, and again they'll go a little reverse. Dukowicz keeps it, and he'll be brought down around the 22-yard line or so, and Osseo will get the football back. I guess if you break one of those, it seems really great, all the fakes and stuff, but after a while you're starting to wonder, like, you're taking so many of your own guys out of being able to block or anything on that.
Well, it's just a slower developing play too. You know, and I'll tell you, when you're playing against a team that's pretty disciplined, like a Maple Grove, you know, a Wayzata, they stay in their lanes. That's what they're taught on those kickoffs. So even if you fool one defender, you're probably not gonna. I think you're almost better off just attacking it full speed, get the ball in the hands of one of your athletes and see if they can't make a big play.
From the 23, Fitzgerald on a quarterback run here will spin forward over the 25, and there's what you've been calling for, although that one didn't really come with a fake. That looked like just straight run for Fitzgerald all the way there.
Yeah, and even on that, I mean, it wasn't a big play, but you get 4 or 5 yards on first down. I just find a way to get him the ball, have him run. You've done a nice job of pounding up the middle with Burton the last few possessions. You mix that along with some quarterback keepers for that young man, and I think you got a pretty good balance there.
3:40 to go here in this first half. A 3-yard pickup, they'll call it. So 2nd and 7 here for Osseo. Fitzgerald will hand it off up the middle. A lot of traffic for Burton to try and squeeze through, and he is wrapped up. McMahon was there along with Atkinson, able to wrap him up. So 3rd and about 5 coming here for the Orioles is, again, they've had a little bit here and there offensively. Obviously the big one being that Devin Williams run of 50 plus, but haven't been able to sustain drives, and then have just given up way too many big plays on the other side. And we'll get a stoppage timeout requested by Osseo. They were running out of time there and maybe didn't like the look they had either, so they sideline calling for that timeout before they would be forced into a penalty there. So get a chance to talk things over with 2:41 to go.
And this is big too, because if you don't get this, you're on a short field and you still have plenty of time for Maple Grove's offense to come back on the field. So this is a big 3rd down here. You want to convert this and at the very least go into the half trailing 35-0. Maybe you get some positive plays and can score out of it, but you don't want to give the ball back to an offense that right now is in a great rhythm. And the other thing I'd say too, Jay, is Coach Lombardi, Coach Grant, some of the great coaches do a great job of just getting the ball into their playmakers' hands, finding different ways, and we've seen that. Mika Fay, a great defensive player, comes in on offense, touches the ball, explosive. Derek Jamison finding ways on offense, also in special teams. So just finding neat, different ways to get your playmakers a chance to make plays.
Fitzgerald able to get to the edge, now throwing, but well covered and incomplete as he went for Burton there. Solid job by Uzel defensively, who's had himself a pretty good night. There really wasn't much there and just kind of had to throw that one away.
Yeah, tough play, rolling to your left like that, under pressure. Did a heck of a job just getting rid of that ball.
The part that hurts a little bit for Osseo, though, of course, is it stops the clock.
Yep.
So they will have to punt it here. It's been, at both ends, a little bit of an adventure for Osseo in terms of this punting, because they've had a couple that were nearly blocked, but then obviously Jamison is running back. They don't have anybody back deep this time from Maple Grove. And this kick will go out of bounds near the Osseo bench there at about the 42-yard line. So Crimson will get it back. 2:31 to go before halftime, and they've got some time. They've got about just shy of 60 yards to go, but definitely time to do it if they want to.
Yeah, it was weird. Almost like Maple Grove was expecting a fake there. They had all 11 guys up near the line of scrimmage, so they were not going to allow Osseo to fake it, giving up maybe a chance at a good punt return.
Well, and you wonder, too, at what point do you feel like you're far enough ahead that you don't want to risk Jamison being back there and possible injury and all that kind of thing, too?
Well, I even wondered, too, if they were going to come out with their starting offense at this point. But I think you want to give your starting team at least the first half to play.
Fakes the handoff to Jamison. Kilzer throwing on the run, and he has his man, the fullback Allbeck. And inside the 40.
I wondered if we were going to get a block in the back. Which, again, wasn't necessary. They used to call that clipping, right? And it came from the back judge that time.
Yeah, you got it.
Get a nice, easy play call, right? A little play action. You get your fullback out in the flat. But you can see right here, there's the block in the back, and again, not necessary.
Peters got it right into the middle of the numbers on the back. Hard to argue that one, as it was pretty clear.
What was weird is the referee that was right there at the ball didn't call it. I was watching for it, and then a few seconds later, you saw the flag come in all the way from the back of the field.
So it's going to be first and about 12, just based on where that penalty came a little ways down the field.
A nice job by Kilzer there, recognizing that guys weren't lined up correctly.
And Kilzer looking around, and Coach Lombardi comes out to talk it over with them and wasn't happy with that. But overall, hard to fault their execution for the most part in all three phases this first game. I mean, sure, aside from the score, just they've generally run things pretty much like the way you'd like to see them.
Well, and I think, too, for Maple Grove, when you have a really good defense, Jay, if you can get a quick start offensively, score 2 touchdowns right away, their defense, it forces an offense to take chances. It forces you to pass more, and that's when they are really, really tough, when they know what you're going to do. So that combination, a fast start on offense along with their defense, is going to be a recipe for a lot of success for them this year.
And we should point out, probably the youngest position group for them was their O-line coming in. And again, the talents of Jamison and then Bay are a lot to do with that, but still, they're opening holes for them for sure. They've done well.
A couple of those touchdowns, they was extremely well blocked. Absolutely.
Kilzer, deep drop and throwing it up, one-on-one coverage deep, and he's got it. Completion there for Cole Newell. He got single coverage and put it right on him deep downfield.
You love the play call. You give your quarterback a chance to sling it.
A 45-yard pickup.
And a lot of that in the air. Well blocked. He got time to get a deep drop, set his feet. And what I love that, the receiver, Newell coming all the way from the left, running to the right. You throw away from that defender. I at first thought he would have overthrown that.
Yes,
nice job
agree.
by Newell to get there, and big play.
Going with the option to Jamison. Jamison to the edge. Did he get it across? Now they're going to mark him out just shy. The ball came out too, but he's out of bounds at about the 1. And Jamison looks like he is banged up a little bit. Let's go down now to the sideline to Allie.
Yeah, guys, we saw number 5 senior running back Malcolm Randolph of Osseo have that ankle injury. He is currently being carted off the field. He will not be returning to tonight's game.
Thanks, Allie, and unfortunate to hear that. So Jamison didn't quite get the touchdown there, but we'll leave him with a 1st and goal from the 1.
Well, nice job by Kilzer. That time, great patience. Held on to it as long as he could.
Going to go on the toss to Jamison, and he will walk in for the touchdown as Maple Grove executing again to finish off the drive. And Jamison getting his 4th TD of the night, 3 on offense, 1 on special teams.
Not a bad season for some people, but not a bad first half. Again, nice job blocking, and he's got a great ability. At least what I've seen tonight is his cutback and footwork is really, really good. You love to see him. He's given high fives and handshakes to that offensive line. You got to give the big guys credit up front, doing a really nice job of springing him free tonight.
And Fournier has had a busy night kicking. We should mention that he's was a soccer player who is not out for soccer this year. Apparently he had an injury that kind of led to him not being able to stay with soccer, but enough that he could still kick football. And obviously that's a pretty good weapon to have. He's been very strong tonight. So 42-0 Maple Grove as they finish that drive. And you know, there might be somebody saying, do you try that hard to score? When it's still the first half, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, especially first game of the year, you want to get your guys reps and practice. And, you know, I've never been a fan. You know, if you're up big and you got guys and you're throwing like this is competitive football, right? And you want to give your guys all a chance to do what they've worked on. You know, my guess is we won't see the first string offense, maybe one series to start the second half, and after that you're going to see a lot of guys getting some repetitions. But I'm with you. I definitely in the first half, you know, your job as a coach is to prepare your team going forward, and you want to give them as much opportunity as you can.
Williams middle back here as Ben Jamison, the lineman / kicker, will put his foot to it here for Maple Grove. And it is going to be Devin Williams coming up to meet it on the 15, and this time no room for any trickery. They'll go out for about a 10-yard return to the 26-yard line. A minute 21 to go here in the first half, and now if you're Osseo, do you just kind of keep it on the ground and let the clock get to halftime, or try and see if you can break one here would be my guess. They, you know, some kind of their running sequence.
And same for them. They, you know, just like we were talking about Maple Grove, if you're Osseo, you're probably not going to come back and win the game, but what positives can you derive from this? You know, what plays, what confidence can you get out of some successful plays?
Burton taking the handoff there.
He's been really maybe one of the lone bright spots, I think, for the Orioles. He's run the ball extremely hard. He's good speed and good power, too. He finishes his runs really nicely. Big physical runner.
McMahon on the stop for Maple Grove, but not until he'd picked up about 8. Second and short here for the Orioles. And they'll pick up the first down here. Enable the clock to stop.
Well, that's where that first down is so important. You know, you saw the first couple of drives, Osseo not getting much on first down. You get 7-8 yards on first down, then you're usually setting up for success.
Here's Devin Williams, spun away, but the Crimson staying with him, driving backward, got out to about the 41, so a pickup of 4. Doesn't really look like Osseo has any intention of using timeouts here unless something changes. They're at under 30 seconds to go. They do have a couple of timeouts, but does not look like they plan to spend them at the moment. 2nd and 6. Back to Burton. He'll fall forward to the 45 or so there. And that might be the final play of the half. Well, maybe not. Osseo now is going to use a timeout. They know why. The 3rd and a couple coming up after the timeout. That's the thing too, Ryan, as you well know, and we've talked about already tonight even too, regardless of the score, the coaches are still coaching situation and for what's going to come the next weeks. And, you know, so using that timeout is something that, you know, you're showing your guys you still want to get this drive going and do what you can.
Clock management, execution, absolutely. Well, and the other thing to keep in mind, if they do get a first down here, the clock stops. They also have one timeout. Maybe you give your shot at least a chance at a Hail Mary into the end zone too. So you're absolutely right. You play to the whistle to the end of the time.
Fitzgerald looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck it, steps up and will throw, kind of up for grabs, and it's going to be picked off. Instead, Jackson Powers with the interception. Now a little pitch back, and the clock is at 0, but the play still goes on as Skansen running it upfield. And Skansen then will be brought down. So the half ending in entertaining fashion there as get the interception. Worth throwing it up there and see if your guy can get it at that point, but unfortunately for Osseo, like most things in the half, that one went Maple Grove's way, and Jackson Powers coming up with the pick. I don't know, it turned out okay, but I don't know if the coaches probably are overly thrilled that he pitched the ball back because something bad could happen there, but it worked.
Well, at the very least, I think Cade Fitzgerald showed his arm strength there. He's got a nice arm, strong arm, good, through that good 45, 50 yards down the field. So again, like you said, 42-0. Do you want to just go into half? You're showing your team that you don't quit either. You're calling plays. You're trying to still make a big play down the field, and you absolutely can respect that. Well, good Maple Grove student section here tonight.
Yeah, they've had plenty to cheer about here in this first half, obviously, and that, it's hard to tell if it's raining very much anymore. Certainly got a little bit earlier in the game, but it seems as though it has slowed in that regard. Allie is ready now with Coach Stockhouse.
Coach, I know that was not the first half starting the season that you wanted out of your team. What were you seeing on the field?
Well, obviously that's not what we want to see. They're bullying us up front. We feel good about our offensive line, but we're not playing up to our potential right now. So we're not winning the battle up front offensively and being able to move the ball, move the chains, keep the clock ticking. We've given them the ball on short fields. They've gotten some good returns. They're making plays. We're not. We've got a couple penalties that have put us backwards. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. So kind of about everything that you could do wrong in that first half, we've done wrong and really not gotten a whole lot of momentum going.
Yeah, 6 touchdown deficits, hard to go up against going into the second half, but what's going to be your message to the team? Because you got to keep these guys uplifted.
Well, it's game one. It's the start of a journey. You know what I mean? It's a tough football team. You got a half of football to play. So right now is really the test of what the rest of the season is going to look like. Can you handle the adversity? Can you come out and continue to fight? Can you stick together as a team? And I think these guys can. It's a little shell-shocked right away to have that happen, but we just got to rally up and come out and play. We got to finish strong.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thanks, Allie. As we go to halftime, 42-0 Crimson, our score. We'll be back with halftime highlights and more. And welcome back here to John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field, home of the Osseo Orioles, and it's been a rough night for the home club so far. Obviously, they're rivals from just up County 81 here, Maple Grove, putting one on them, leading at 42-0 at halftime. So we check out some highlights from this first half. It didn't take Maple Grove long to kind of set the tone as they got a 3-and-out, and then this, a handoff to Eric Jamison, and he goes pretty much untouched for 32 to start the scoring. Made it 7-0 after the extra point. And then after they had fumbled the second time they had it, which is right there, the recovery by Osseo. So Osseo getting a stop, but then Maple Grove just gets it back. Jamison shakes one tackle and goes the distance again, that time for 36 yards, and made it a 14-0 lead after the opening quarter.
Well, this was the big play where you thought maybe Osseo was getting some of the momentum back too. huge run.
Yeah, Devin Williams going for 57, although there was a penalty at the end of this that, cut back a little bit on the yardage, but then they were unable to punch it in. And Maple Grove just kept on going early in the second quarter. First offensive play in there for Mika Bay, the defensive back, and look out, he goes all the way 50 yards, a little cut back at the end, brought down, but he's already in. And that made it 21 zip. And then Kilzer, calling his own number, runs it in from 5 yards out. That was just about 3 minutes later. And a big sack for Skansen here as he closes in on the backside and pounds Fitzgerald.
On a third down, too. That gave him this punt return right here.
Yeah, Jamison had been fearless fielding a couple of punts earlier, and this time he goes the distance 65 yards, and Jamison was not quite done either. Well, first it's the big pass play that sets it up. Kilzer looking deep downfield, one-on-one coverage, a good size advantage out there too, and he finds Cole Newell. And then Jamison, after being knocked out of bounds at the 1 on the previous play, takes it in there. Osseo coming back, trying to get something going late. Fitzgerald steps up and just kind of puts it up for grabs here and overthrew his guy a little bit, and Jackson Powers getting the interception there for Maple Grove. And once he's wrapped up, throws it back to Skansen on the toss. It ends up being tackled around midfield. But see the first half stats as the rushing yards in favor of Maple Grove, and obviously Osseo did not complete anything passing-wise. And penalties, a bit of an issue for both teams, maybe a little bit more so for the Orioles. We'll come back with more of our coverage here. Unfortunately, a lopsided one, although I guess that guy, Matt Lombardi and the Crimson, don't mind. 42-0 Maple Grove here at halftime.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
And welcome back here to Osseo, and let's go down now to Allie.
Coach, for a first game of the season, have you ever had a first half start like that?
No, I was pretty proud of our kids. I thought they capitalized on the moments that were there to capitalize. I said coming into the game, I think we have some pretty dynamic players on the skills side, and our young O-line, I thought, did a nice job. I think I'm really proud of them. There's a lot of junior kids out there. This is their first ever varsity game, and they stepped up and gave us a lot of room to run, so that's awesome.
Does your game plan change at all given the score in the game coming into the second?
I think we're gonna emphasize we deferred, so I want the kids to get used to what it feels like to come out at halftime, that this first drive is a trend. This is a trend setter. This is a championship type drive. We'll protect some kids, but like I said, I want them to know what it feels like to come out of half and have an intensity, and then after that we'll start to plug in some kids.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get out of enemy territory.
All right,
guys.
Thanks, Allie. As Coach did come over to the Osseo sideline to speak with us, we appreciate that. 42-0 Maple Grove. We'll take another break, and we will come back with the beginning of the second half here on CCX Sports.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Kind of a dream night so far for the visitors from Maple Grove as they have jumped out to a 42-0 lead. And as coaches, you look at Derek Jameson, what he has done so far, that's offensively, and then one return touchdown as well. And like you said at the time, Ryan, it's kind of like a whole season in one night for him, and kind of showing what he can do and what their O-line was able to do. And it just felt like almost everything that they tried worked to some extent.
Yep. Well, I think what's going to serve them well going forward, especially in some closer games, is their balance. I think you're proud of having Jameson as an option too, but you got to be pretty happy with Jacob Kilzer, too, as your quarterback, showing a big arm, had a couple short throws, athletic, ran a touchdown in. And, of course, you know, anytime you can bring in Mika Vei, too, to come in, and he's explosive. So Coach Lombardi touched on it. He thought he had some pretty explosive playmakers, and he was right. And if you can have that balance and you combine that with a really good defense, you're going to be in a lot of games.
And as we mentioned, too, none of that can happen if your O-line doesn't play well, and they did in that first half, as Coach noted, too.
And you know what's scary, too, Jay, is confidence is crazy. I mean, confidence, you build confidence up, you can do anything. And so getting off to a great start to your year like this really does wonders for your confidence.
And the opening kick brought out over the 30 to about the 33 or so for the Crimson.
Well, and we wonder too, was, you know, do you pull your starters or do you play them? And I kind of like what Coach Lombardi said is, hey, I want my guys to get used to what it's like competing out at halftime. You know, you get that break, you want to get that fire. So it sounded like he's going to keep his starting group out here, at least for the first possession, and I like that too.
Yeah, it's interesting how much some of that stuff matters. Even just thinking about a Vikings preseason game when Coach said, I wished I'd had our starters go through the warm-up instead of sit in street clothes. And to a fan, you're thinking, what is he talking about? But I understand that what coaches mean by things like that.
Yeah, you get that routine.
Kills are going back with the toss. And Albeck on the run that time for the Crimson. He'll pick up a nice gain of about 5. Or I'm sorry, that looks like it was Malakbaju instead, Jordan. Not Albeck. And it looks like Jamison not in there to begin the half, and he perhaps may not see any more action then.
He talked about, too, having a lot of juniors getting their first varsity experience on that O-line. You keep them in there, and maybe you can plug and play some other skill position players, get them some experience as well, especially running behind that first offensive line.
Here's Kilzer keeping it, and he will get the first down. He took a rough ride at the end there as he was caught from the side and popped pretty good.
Well, great ball fake, and that's the play right there, Jay, that I wanted to see from Osseo, you know, for Fitzgerald. There's that quick fake and that quick quarterback keeper, and you see Kilzer showing off some really good athleticism. Showing off the good arm, and there he's showing off some wheels too.
Into Osseo territory at the 47 now. 1st and 10 here for the Crimson, and again, Coach said, I want to see at least one really good drive to begin this half. And go handoff up the middle, fullback, and that one's met early and driven back. As Albeck took that handoff. See if they'll give him even to the line. It does not look like he quite made the line of scrimmage there.
Nice job closing down that interior there by the Oriole defense. You know, and that's the thing too, you just want to see guys compete. You know, and if you, like Coach Stockhouse, you know, so positive at halftime, great message. You just want to see guys compete. You come out and are you giving in, or are you going to stay and fight? That's all you're looking for, and I'm sure that was his message to his team is, you know, that wasn't the start we wanted, guys, but let's show our character here. Let's fight. Let's build. Let's get better.
Kilzer rolling to the left, dropping back a little bit. Now we'll throw it down the sideline.
Oh.
Good diving effort there by Barber, but he couldn't quite get it. Kilzer was trying to buy time by drifting back a little bit there.
He did a nice job buying time, letting his receivers, you know, have the time to get open. Not an easy throw. He got some mustard on that. You know, roll into your left like that. Had a good 30 yards on it, and almost made a heck of a completion there.
And once that original route breaks down, it kind of is hard to cover. I mean, to expect a guy to, if he had just gotten out in front of Barber just a little bit more there, they nearly completed that one. So 3rd and 11 now for Kilzer and the offense. Straight drop, and he's going to throw deep down the middle, and it's complete, and this one will go for a touchdown as well. Sam Peters able to shrug off the defender there and get the touchdown. It'll be a 47-yard strike for the Crimson.
Well, and again, and having Peters at 6'5" as your tight end gives you that big target. And Kilzer just does a nice job taking his time, knowing he's got a mismatch in size there, threw it up high, and a great catch there by Peters. And obviously being as big and strong as he is, you got to really tackle him. Breaks the tackle, and he's gone. Exactly the kind of drive Coach Lombardi, I think, wanted to see from his starting unit.
And Fournier will bang another one through. So 9:27 to go here in the third, and now 49-0 Maple Grove.
Yeah, and that's where if you can't make a play on the ball, you got to make sure you wrap up and knowing that you're the last line of defense. But again, nice pocket. He's got the ability, the time to let that route develop. And then, a lot of quarterbacks too, they try to force it or throw it hard. We saw that in the first half. He might have lobbed one a little too high earlier to Peters. That time, nice and easy, hit him right in stride, threw the ball up high where only your 6'5" tight end could go make a play and easy catch and run.
The other thing that makes that a good play too is that considering the situation, even if you get intercepted, that's just as good like a punt anyway.
And that's where on 3rd and 11, as a defense, you got to know, pass is coming. You can't let anything get behind you. And if you're that last line of defense, you might not be able to make a play on the ball, but you got to make sure you wrap up.
Yeah, your mindset has to change there. Once you realize you're not going to be able to break it up, I got to go get his legs. I got to get him down to the ground. Oops.
Oh, the ball fell right at the
got Charlie Brown there a little bit,
yeah.
huh? Jamison coming up to kick that one, and Lucy didn't hold it for him like she claimed she was going to.
Literally at the last second.
Adjust the angle a little bit so it'll stay up a little bit better. High kick here coming toward the sideline. Looks like they maybe were considering a little bit of that reverse look again or a fake handoff, but instead just had to run it straight ahead there as Bayo Kamara on the return. I think wisely so. He was too far away between the other returners.
I like those higher kickoffs like that. And really what it does, it allows your kick team to get down the field. Sometimes you'll see those hard line drive kicks, and what happens is you give your dynamic kick returner a chance to get speed going. When you kick them high like that, it is a scary feeling, Jay, when you're returning a punt or a kick knowing you got 11 guys burning down on you, ready to hit you.
Burton is just tossed to the ground there by Skansen. So he got through there untouched.
Skansen's had a couple of really nice plays in the backfield. We saw that sack that highlight at halftime, and that time again in the backfield. You can see this, linebacker core have been all over the field. In the backfield, making tackles to the perimeter, really great speed and football IQ.
2nd and 11 after that short loss on first down. Fitzgerald looking to throw. So he rolls right and fires into traffic, and it is intercepted. Skansen up with the pick. Boy, it just, when you talked him up, he comes up with another big play.
Well, he was listening, but, we talked about the different abilities of these linebackers. They're everywhere. You see them in the backfield, on quarterback pressures, and there you see in coverage too. And that ball was thrown, and it looked like 2 or 3 different white jerseys could have made that pick, but nice job by Scanlon. That's not an easy catch either when you're kind of going down and away from it. Beautiful hand-eye coordination. And
so we'll see if Maple Grove, obviously Jamison was not out there last time, and looks like we might have second team quarterback in there too, as Zane Vitens, number 15, will be taking snaps here for Grove. Vitens handing it off, and that one goes nowhere as a second carry of this half for Olagbaju. Aiden, Wayne, and Lundstrom getting there for Osseo as a loss of about 4 or 5 on that play. Back to the 39-yard line, so Vitence running the Maple Grove offense here, goes with the handoff. And right back they go to Logbaju, as we'll probably see, fairly vanilla offense, I'm guessing, from Maple Grove at this point. Maybe not. I mean, you still want to work with your second team in some of the same offensive looks too.
And having a senior, backup quarterback too, you want to give him a shot at making some throws if the down and distance arises. You got 3rd and long here on a short field. My guess is he'll probably take a shot here.
Vitence rolling right, pressure coming from Dukowitz. He just gets rid of it, nearly intercepted. As Dukowitz was closing fast.
Yeah, good pressure by Dukowitz, and no receivers on the right side that time. I don't know if there was maybe a breakdown on the play or what, but rolling hard to your right. Usually you got a couple of receivers, short, medium, and long, and just no one over on that right side. And that's where, too, if you're going to throw that away, you want to make sure you get it out of bounds. You almost intercepted.
Green back to receive. Peters will be punting for the first time tonight. He had that touchdown reception a moment ago. And able to drill one. The wind might have helped a little, but this one actually going to get to the end zone. You got even more of it than he wanted to there, but an impressive kick. And it's one of those things, too, where it's great for you if you haven't had to punt, but at the same time, you don't mind having your punt team have to do something here in the second half a little bit. Not to say they didn't want to get a first down there. They obviously did, but I think you
want to practice in a real game, in a game situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of times, too, in scrimmages, you don't practice special teams. It's just offense and defense. So that's probably the punt team's first, live go at doing a punt. And, again, in closer games down the road, punting and field position plays such a big role. So you want to make sure you're buttoned up.
Handoff up the middle. Burton, he's taken some punishment. He's dished out some punishment here tonight, and he picks up a 2 or 3 yard gain straight up the gut there.
Well, and you can see the jersey's looking wet. The rain is definitely out there. But I've been a big fan of how Burton has ran tonight. He's a big, strong kid. 5'11", 205 pounds, solid.
And the wing T fullback, I always feel like, to a certain extent, it's almost a good thing that you don't have to make decisions. His first thing is just get upfield.
Yep, straight ahead.
They try to go sweep this time, and well read by that Crimson defense. Only about a yard gain or so for Devin Williams. So he popped that one long one, but other than that, he's been held in check. Williams, a guy that they felt, had some kind of breakaway speed if they could get him to the edge, and he showed it on that one run, but Maple Grove's done a good job of staying at home.
I'll tell you, the first 2 possessions for Osseo, they didn't amount to much, but then they started doing that pre-snap motion, and they were able to get Williams to the edge and to the outside, and that's when they popped that big run.
A flag down for the snap here.
Nice hard count there to pick up 5 yards. Should be good for a first down.
Yeah, I agree. They started at the 20, and the nose of the ball's at the 30. I don't know how it's not a first down. Yes, it is. Now they've corrected that.
Where'd the hat go, Coach? Took off the hat.
You'd think with the rain, or maybe he's protecting.
No, that could be too.
Fitzgerald handing it off, and there's Burton. He ran hard that time. I'll give Max Messenberg some credit, though. He stood in there and took it and got his arms wrapped around him. It probably didn't feel the greatest, but he got the tackle.
No, and you'd almost like to see Osseo sustain a drive here and punch one in. You know, and that young man right there deserves a touchdown tonight, as hard as he's ran.
At the 36 now, second and about 4. Hand off here going to Williams, and able to pick his way forward out over the 40, and he'll have another first down for Osseo.
Good push up front. Bennett Williams, Jerome Williams doing a nice job. I saw him 3, 4, or 5 yards downfield, holding their blocks, doing a nice job. Good push that time, getting the first down.
Yeah, and you do want to establish some things, get rhythm going if you're Osseo here. As like we said, obviously far from being able to come back in this game, but you still want to get something going and something positive to take out of it.
Well, and for confidence too, they're going to watch film of this.
Here's Burton, and another nice pickup there before he's brought down by Jacob Anderson.
And just a little bit of different formation that time out of the shotgun. I think those little adds and changes too, and twists, and you might be running the same stuff, but if you can show different formations, get the defense moved or adjusted a little bit, it doesn't take much to get a little bit of seam for your running back. But you want to get something on tape, Jay, positive that you can show your team tomorrow. Obviously, they're going to look at mistakes and correct, what they think they did wrong in that first half, but as a coach, you always want to be able to show them something positive, something that they can believe in, something that they can hang their hat on and be proud of. And really, that's what a drive like this is going to be for.
Williams trying to sweep to the left. He is caught and corralled there. Nice job by Max Johnson to stay with him. Max, a great name, so able to get out there and run him down.
Boy, he did a great job of staying home. If he's not there, that might go for a big yard, and has the speed to contain him. And not only that, but all young football players, you see how he broke down and didn't overextend or reach, able to make the tackle. That was a big play by Max.
Unfortunately, Devin Williams is still down on the ground in a sitting position there.
Rubbing that calf, you always wonder if that's not a cramp too. We always normally in these August games where it's 85 degrees and you're talking about cramps and heat and drinking enough water. A nice cool temperature here tonight. But still, practices are different. Games are, you want to make sure you're always hydrating, and cramps are no fun, I can tell you. That was a great play by Max.
Williams doesn't look like he's, that much. I think you might be right about the cramp part, so let's hope so, as he's able to get up and kind of trot off here.
Well, cramps are something that, even people that don't play sports know about, right? We've all had that cramp in bed when your calf or your foot, they are painful and alarming, and it's hard to function, but the good news is they usually go away pretty quickly. Now, big third down here.
Fitzgerald throwing and pretty well covered there. Just a little bit of space to try and sneak that one in as he went for Dukowitz, but Max Johnson staying with him. He got in there in the backfield defensively, and then pretty good coverage downfield there as well.
Well, one of the other differences tonight, Jay, if you think back, is, for Kilzer, his first couple completions were those fullback outs, right in the flat, easy throws. That's a tough throw. That's a 35, 40-yard throw across the field. You want to try to get your quarterback a couple of easy throws so his confidence is up, his rhythm is up. And Osseo tonight, just 0 passing yards, have not been able to get that rhythm for their quarterback.
Clay had to range over to get that one, and Jacob Anderson on the return. Maple Grove apparently not being coached to fair catch the ball. Anderson kind of fortunate to hang on to that one, but they will move it. Started, I should say, at about the 26, 27-yard line here as they get the ball back. And we are into running time here as we go under 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. And a 49-0 Maple Grove lead. We kind of talked this one up as being, the great matchup coming into tonight. It hasn't really turned out to be a very close one, obviously, but glad you could join us for the opening night. And the The third team in District 279 will be featured on CCX Friday night. Park Center hosting Bloomington Kennedy. Watch for that one right before 7 with the pregame. John Jacobson, Joe Basil, and Allie will be on the call of that one as Maple Grove starts out with a running play there again as coming in at that tailback slot after the Jamison had such a big first half. Jordan Logbaju, the junior, getting another carry there, and he got about 8.
Yeah, good gain, good pickup on first down.
Viten still the quarterback here for the Crimson.
Oh, great ball fake.
He's going to run it himself and ridden down, well pursued from inside out there for Osseo by Antoine Blasingame.
Well, Blasingame did a great job of, just closing speed too. I mean, that looked like that was wide open there. Great ball fake, but he did a great job.
Yeah, I was mentally penciling in that he's probably going to get a first down there, and didn't happen.
No, great closing speed and nice tackle. And a lot of times too, when you get a good tackle like that, the momentum is driving the offense backwards, and that's when you know you got low and had great form. So, really nice play. And actually a loss of a yard or two on that play.
Whitehand's going with the toss. Oof. Physical stop there as Dukowitz came in and popped Ryan Kuiper.
Nice job setting the edge again, just nowhere to go outside.
So that'll bring us to the end of the third. Maple Grove continuing to dominate. Our score after 3 is Crimson 49, Orioles 0.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
One quarter to go here. It has been all Maple Grove here tonight. 49-0 lead for the Crimson as we change ends and get this fourth quarter going. Jay Wilcox, Ryan Iverson, and Allie Mosley with you here tonight. And unfortunately for Allie, getting rained down a little bit out there tonight. And our camera crew, we are, of course, fortunate to be warm and dry in the booth here. But
well, that's why they get paid the big bucks, Jay. To survive the elements. Ooh, almost blocked.
Peters, it looks like they got a piece of it. The referee right next to him signaling touch. It's a gamble there to pick that one up. Yeah, I think they got a small portion of that ball as Peters trying to get it out of there. He did a pretty good job. And
what happens?
Wasn't a great angle there. He probably could have blocked it entirely.
You get so worried that if you miss, you're going to run into the kicker that sometimes they, he was definitely timing-wise there. I'll tell you, Peters has got quite a leg on him. That ball's still a pretty good punt, even with it getting deflected.
John Lundstrom in there to get a little piece of that ball. So it looks like we'll have a new quarterback here for Osseo as the junior Hayden Potratz coming in. And Coach Stockhouse had some praise for him. I think before Fitzgerald arrived from Champlain Park, that Potratz was kind of in line to be their starter. And he said, here's Osseo popping one. Down the sidelines, an opportunity here for BJ Zachiel. And it's a touchdown, yes.
What a run.
65 yards. BJ Zachiel, the junior, rips it off for the Orioles.
What a run. Great speed. Able to get to the outside. And, man, did he turn on the afterburners. Got into that secondary. And I kept thinking Maple Grove was closing on him, but he just kept going and able to get right to the pylon. What a play. And good for Osseo getting on the scoreboard, too.
Williams will attempt the extra point here for Osseo. And his kick is up, and it is good. So early fourth quarter here, the Orioles get on the board courtesy of Zachiel. Nice little misdirection. And yeah, I agree. I thought they had enough of an angle, but he just flat out outran everybody.
Great speed. Yeah, and just when he thought the white jerseys were closing on him, he just kept going. But great cut right there. It gets to the outside, and then he's just off. Well blocked up front, too. And a huge play for the Oriole offense. And like we've said a couple of times, that's a play that you can build off of. That's something that you can bring joy. And I love to see all the black jerseys there celebrating. They're still in the game. And that's what you want as a coach. You don't play the scoreboard. You play each possession, each play. Nice job by Osseo, and congrats to BJ.
And I think it should have been a touchdown, but I kind of like that they called it one, even if it was borderline when he got to the sideline there, considering the score and just for him, rather than a quarterback sneak from a half yard out the next play, seeing that one be a touchdown was kind of fun.
I agree with you 100%. And the downfall of that is, a lot of the Crimson starting defenses, they like to see that shutout at the end of the game too, but that was a big time play. Great speed too by BJ. Ever since the hats come off, it hasn't gone as well for the Crimson. I think someone's got to get the coach, tell him to get that hat back on.
Play kicking off for Osseo as they get a little to cheer about. He'll drill it along the ground. Scooped up there by Mason Byer. And he will bring it out to about the 34-yard line.
Nice hit by Lundstrom, too. And, it's funny. Football is such a game of momentum. You get a big play. Now defense is coming out. They're a little bit more confident. And it just compounds itself when you make a big play like that.
With this margin, we do have running time too, and it doesn't appear that they're asking them to hurry it up to get the next team out there or anything either. So they're, I think both, even though you want to see your backups get some time and everything, and both coaches would be happy to get out of it. Caden Vocal, it will be the third quarterback to take snaps here now for Maple Grove, but kind of an unquarterback-like number 40. Go out with the toss there. And that was Charlie Roush, number 84, on the run for Maple Grove.
Penalty there in the backfield. Looked like it probably is a hold.
And those are the kind of things that coaches will still kind of harp on. We don't want to see penalties, even from our second or third string guys.
You want guys to come in and be sharp and crisp and fundamentally sound.
Vocal handing it off up the middle, and big time collision early on. Nice job to hang on to that ball, and even for Logbadger there.
There's been some good physical hits up front, especially when Osseo's been on offense, especially with Adrian Burton running up the middle. There's been some good contact, good collisions here tonight.
After the earlier holding penalty and then that gainer, we got a 2nd and 16 here for Maple Grove. With a little toss back to Roush. And he gets a decent gainer up the sideline before he's wrapped up.
Some good speed there. It didn't look like there was much room with the sideline. Good pursuit, but able to turn it upfield, go north and south. Got some positive yards there.
Leave them with 3rd and about 7, it appears. Past the halfway point of this 4th quarter. Obviously, we're zipping along with running time here in this margin. Volko looking to throw. He's going to go deep downfield, and nobody home there. Is a little bit maybe confusion on the route. Will Anderson trying to come back to get to it.
And I don't think Volko quite had the time to really plant and get that one as far downfield. That's where, as a receiver, as you're running down there, you got to identify that ball and come back to it and try to help your quarterback out.
Osseo using a timeout here.
Well, again, Osseo with the momentum. They've stopped the last 3 Maple Grove drives, scored on the last possession. Going to force a punt here, try to punch it back into the end zone again.
Tice Howard drifting back deep to receive here for Osseo.
Well,
have a different
one for it.
Yeah. And I wonder if they're going to drop back. Well, maybe not, though. No, you might be right. I thought they were going to drop him back into punt formation, perhaps, but
try to draw him off sides. No.
Going to go for it. Volko will fire downfield and incomplete. So Osseo will get the football in Maple Grove territory there.
I think just trying to get your guys a chance to make a play, right? Trying to get your third string quarterback. You know, it's funny, I watched Volko warm up in pregame. I noticed the odd number 40, but I did notice he had a strong arm. And that time too, he had a nice arm, just a little bit overthrown.
Will be Potrats, and I was starting to say before that long touchdown run interrupted us that Potrats, the coaches liked how he's worked with Fitzgerald, and obviously I'm sure he wasn't thrilled that, you know, a guy came over from Champlain Park and kind of won that job, but they do feel good about him as their quarterback of the future, and you know, if needed this year. Well, this a nice run, but not nearly as long as the first one for Zacchio, but he'll pick up about 5 on that first down carry after the long touchdown run previous.
Yeah, and not only does he have great speed, but on that right side of the offensive line, they're getting a nice push up the field. You're seeing a nice seal, and there's some room up there to run for BJ as well.
Under 4 to go now, 2nd down and 5. With the handoff, trying to get to the edge, but not quite going to work out.
Well, what you love to see if you're a Crimson fan, you see all those white jerseys, great pursuit, just nowhere to go there in the backfield.
Austin Colden on the carry there for Osseo.
Max Johnson, number 8 there, we've seen him in the second half make a number of plays in the backfield, in the secondary as well, going all over the field. Oh, great push. Good run. You love that hard run.
Looked like it was going to be stopped a lot before that, but
got about 10, 11 yards right up the middle.
Maple Grove will get its first home game next Friday as they host Tino Grace, and that could be an interesting.
That should be a good one. Yeah. Again, I mean, it seems every year, but this year especially, you know, our region that we get to cover, very strong, very talented football region.
Zacchio trying to bounce it to the outside, but a lot of white jerseys getting after him there.
Well, that time they just got the push up the field. He didn't get a chance to really turn north and south and get to the edge and use that speed that we saw in that long touchdown run. Nice job there by the Crimson defense.
So they will get the football back, and considering we got running time, probably not going to have to run too many more plays here and be able to celebrate a first game victory, and a big one. Again, coming in, I mean, it'd be hard to hard-pressed to say that you're surprised Maple Grove would win this game, obviously based
but the
on
way they did it.
But just to really seize control as quick as they did, I don't know that I expected that.
No, I agree. And it's exactly the start you want. You're on the road too, and put no doubt about it right away. And they did that. That was 2 possessions, 14-0, and just like that, the energy, the air, the momentum, everything completely on your side. And then they just continued to, and they did it in all phases. They had great balance. They did it in special teams. They did it running. They did it throwing. Number of guys scored touchdowns. They defensively was great in the first half. Special teams, they got the punt return as well. So you got to be pretty proud of all the different areas that they came out and just dominated right from the start.
An Osseo player down here, the reason for our stop. And if we could be looking at cramps again, perhaps he's sitting position there. And it is Anderson who is dinged up a little bit. Shandon Anderson, a promising sophomore who's had a pretty good night here tonight.
He's been all over the field.
They're going to wind the clock again here, although the folks up here aren't watching apparently. Now we get it going. Landing it off.
Nice hit.
That is a hit.
And he's fired up too. That's Kelvin Williams. Love it. That's what you want to see. It don't matter what that scoreboard says. You're still hitting and excited and fired up too. That's what it's all about. Did we get a timeout?
No, apparently. Remember before when we talked about, you got to play to the end, but I'm sorry. It's 49-7, 51 seconds left. No timeouts, please. Third down. Throw it down the sideline there.
Got it.
And
Nice
coming
catch.
back, they grab it. Wow. Good adjustment made there by Maple Grove's Mason Meyer.
Well, you talked about it. He had to come back for his ball and found it and came back. Nice sliding catch, too. Good ball. That's a confidence builder, too. Great job. You see him use his arms to kind of come back, and not an easy catch. Nice job.
I have to wonder if Maple Grove maybe throws that deep ball
angry about
because
the
of the timeout.
Yeah. Maybe we were going to run this out. You're calling timeout.
Ooh, and that one nearly picked. And that. Oh, we had a flag down on the play. So we did stop here.
Start the clock, it should.
And we are going to tick down to zeros here, as this one will come to an end on a rainy night at Osseo. 49-7, Maple Grove Scored a pair of touchdowns in the first quarter and then 4 more in the second to really put it away by halftime.
And then had that drive to start the second half too, and the long touchdown pass, and 49-0 at one point. Yeah, dominating performance by the Crimson.
They feel like they, coming into the season, have a chance to be pretty good. A couple of good classes back to back. The senior and junior classes, have done well on the way up, and they've got a lot of good football players on their team. They're not super big size-wise, and maybe not one of the Evan Hulls or the Brad Davisons that everybody across the state knows, but they just got a good quality group of football players, and they came out and
they're going to get to know their running backs here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jameson's making a name for himself based on tonight. And he had a good year last year, too, for sure.
He looked like he had that ability. Every time he touched it, it could go for a big play. And I think, too, the quarterback play was outstanding tonight, having that balance. And, again, I think their recipe is going to be those quick starts combined with that defense, and they're going to have a chance here to have, a special season.
For Osseo, you want to learn from it, but you kind of wipe the slate clean a little bit too, and you have to have a short memory in this sport.
You do, and you take some good things away. Your guys competed the whole game; they didn't quit. Scoring that late touchdown was big, and just getting a better rhythm offensively and trying to get some. Not being so conservative, I think, early in the game that hurt them. They needed to try to take some shots, and they're going to be okay. They got good athletes, good speed, and some playmakers too. And you take your lumps and you get better from it. That's what you do.
Let's go down to Allie for some post-game thoughts.
Yeah, guys, I've got Mr. First Half here himself, Derek Williams. Derek, at halftime, Coach Lombo said he's never had a team do what you guys did in the first half of a season opener. Where did that performance come from tonight?
We've been working a lot at practice and getting together because they didn't really want to show the film, so we all just working together because we had something to prove. And yeah, we came out and did it.
4 touchdowns for you in the first half, 3 rushing, 1 punt return for 65 yards. What was your favorite? Walk us through that score.
It might have been the punt return because I kind of came in the middle, came to the outside. I didn't really know I was going to score, but it was just really fun.
Your entire offense had a heck of a performance tonight, but a lot of the preseason talk has been about your defense, a very senior defense, and boy, did they show up tonight. What did you see out of your defense?
I already know what they're capable of, so we already know what they're going to do, so they did a really good job, and we just came together as a team.
Derek, there's going to be a lot of talk about this win around the town and around the state. How pumped does this get you to go into the rest of the season with a win like this?
It gets us really pumped because we're showing everyone what we could do, and we're just really coming together, and I think we're one of the best teams in the state.
One of the best teams in the state, starting out the season in a rivalry game. What about that fan turnout you guys had tonight?
It's crazy because last year we didn't really get to have fans, so this year we all were just excited and happy to have fans.
I know you want to go celebrate with your team. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thanks, Derek, for joining us here as the Crimson roll to a 49-7 win. A lot to like for them here on this opening night. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and again, a reminder to watch for Park Center in action Friday night live on CCX as they host Bloomington Kennedy. Thanks so much for watching. Final score again, 49-7 Maple Grove.